The New York Post editorial board wrote this.
Hi guys, welcome back to my last Epoch run.
The system is broken. Joe Biden has erased our.
Let's continue. We just started chapter 2. That's exciting.
States to decide who can come in and when. There's no vetting, no rules, no limit. When so many laws are ignored, how can anyone be?
Yeah, I like this game. It's really good. It's kind of a good change from D4, Grim Dawn, everything else. It's I appreciate the game for what it is. You know what I mean? No delusions about it. Number 5 in Q. Well, that ain't bad, I guess.
What changes by Biden going to the border at this point?
Biden, with the stroke of a pen, could change a lot of this. He could end his parole policies. He has paroled 1.2 million people into the U.S. There is no previous president that has come anywhere near that number. And I was looking at a chart today of the parole numbers from 1983 to 2003. The only person that ticked above 150,000 a year was Bill Clinton in 2000. Now, Harris, this is one of those things that leads to the decisions of the new administration. Joe Biden's choice was to open that border, to weaken immigration law, to weaken border security. What he should do is go get in a vehicle with the Border Patrol and go out on parole.
Yeah, we're doing what we've done.
Exactly. That's exactly right. I've been out numerous times.
I know you have.
Get yourself in that car. Go talk to them. Go see what they are dealing with. And
or the helicopter, there's room in that too.
There is. And then make a decision that you're going to put the American people first. And you're going to end this running across the southern border. God bless these Border Patrol agents and these local sheriffs that are down there. God bless Texas for what they're doing to protect their border. But Harris, to protect our children, to protect our communities, we have to be able to secure that southern border.
This has got to be really quick. It doesn't matter if you use fireworks.
It is going to send a message, but what we can do, I think that means more than that, is look at what President...
Gotta go back. I'm full on inventory. I gotta get rid of it somehow.
When all of these executive orders and actions took place that erased that work that had been done in the...
Gotta find the shop.
As we head into the election.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the previous primaries for Republicans.
You got it.
Number 1, Iowa, New Hampshire,
That's right.
South Carolina. So great to see you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And you were the one who first said every state in our republic is now a Republican. Anti-Christian, hated, reportedly on the rise in the United States. And it's not just the explosion of attacks on Christian churches and places of worship. Anywhere we gather, outrage over the liberal media's take on Christians in America. Plus, Nikki Haley is not calling it quits despite Trump's hitting her handedly in her own state. Brian Kilmeade in Focus next.
A lot of new dry eye patients in my office tell me about their frequent dry eyes, which may point to dry eye disease. Millions of Americans were estimated to have it. They've tried artificial tears again and again, but the relief is temporary. Xiidra provides lasting relief.
Xiidra treats the signs and symptoms of dry eye disease. Don't use if you're allergic to something. Common side effects include eye irritation, discomfort, or blurred vision when applied to the eye, and unusual taste sensation.
Why ask your eye doctor about a night thing to treat for Xiidra today.
TV has a big new deal.
Boys, buckle up, Reba!
With the newest season of The Voice, with the double chair.
First ever coaching duo! My first thought was, you're getting too good across the board.
Then it's Deal or No Deal Island. More adventure, more red eyes. More risk.
Let's go!
Same question, deal or no deal? Check your local listings.
I'm a 79-year-old powerlifter. I set 4 state records for New York State for my age bracket. I set a national record on the deadlift. See, the body is remarkable. It'll adapt to whatever you do. If you're doing nothing, you can bet you're degenerating faster than everybody else. Your body
I don't need it, but that's a good necklace if I had minions for Necromancer.
I found for me, my body adapts everything in me. I don't have the discipline.
Okay, it's rock and roll.
I cannot do that.
And balance of nature helps me do that. I take balance of nature because I see the benefits for me. I'm reaping the benefit of this product. There's no question in my mind. Otherwise, I wouldn't take it.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Get 35% off plus $10 off any additional set with your first order as a preferred customer by using discount code Fox News.
Hi, it's Christina again. I'm here to tell you about an all-new special offer from my friends at Jacuzzi Bathroom Model that you don't want to miss. We're giving you 50% off installation and postponing all payment for up to 1 year. And best of all, they can install it in as little as 1 day with no stress and no mess. From a safer, easy-enter shower to a stunning family bath, or how about a luxurious upgrade with a timeless design that will look great for years to come.
It was done in the same day. You did not have to wait.
It's absolutely tremendous. Exactly what I've been dreaming of. Take advantage of this special TV offer today.
Only weeks left. You get up to 50% off installation and no interest and no payments for up to 1 year, plus a free safety upgrade. Go to jacuzzibathroommodel.com or call 800-991-4021. That's 800-991-4021. Call now. Deal or no deal is back. But this time, it's deal or no deal island.
You're in it for the group, but you're in it for yourself.
Only had to win. Deal or no deal. Deal or no deal island. Check your local listings.
Allergies? With Allegra, they won't stop me. Nothing beats Allegra. It's the fastest, non-drowsy, 24-hour allergy relief. Live your greatness.
Dr. Phil, live on Jesse Waters' podcast. From his first-hand accounts at the border to Biden's medical acuity, the doctor gives exclusive insight to Jesse tonight on Primetime.
With clubs, leagues, and courts in every province and territory across Canada, squash is the sport for wall-to-wall fun, fitness, and friendship. From coast to coast to coast. Learn to play, and you'll want to do it every day. Squash. Play inside the box.
When it comes to drugs, how much freedom is too much for kids? Drugs are out there. Will my teen feel free to say no around other kids? I didn't live drug-free when I was younger. Can I admit that to my kids? Drugs worry me, but how can I feel free to talk about it with my kids?
Questions about drugs and kids? Call or chat to get real-time support. It's important that we're local.
So you work and live in the same place. That very much makes it a local feel.
Because we're able to make meaningful connections with people right here in our community.
It kind of was a joke, but every time I'd walk in and say it's coordinated, it's like Coach no coordinated, and they would just let me through.
I really feel good about helping other people. And that's how I was brought up.
Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley says she is sticking around despite losing to Donald Trump in her own state. Still, she's not quitting the race, she says. Brian Kilmeade will join us from his radio studio. You know how we simulcast in just a moment. But first, here's Donald Trump after his victory.
Today is not the end of our story. We're headed to Michigan tomorrow, and we're headed to the Super Tuesday state throughout all of next week. We'll keep fighting for America, and we won't rest until America wins.
Haley also lost one of her biggest financial backers. The Koch brothers backed Americans for Prosperity, writing, "We don't believe any outside group can make a material difference to widen her path to victory." The Wall Street Journal editorial board is warning that despite Donald Trump's big win, his Republican Party is divided. Here's a quote: "He wins big in South Carolina, but won't beat Joe Biden without Nikki Haley's voters." California Governor Gavin Newsom is among those who say Haley is helping his party.
I don't know why Democrats would want out of the race. She's one of our better surrogates. I mean, she's defining the opposition of Trump incredibly effectively. I mean, she's making points I'm applauding every single day about his temperament, his capacity, his unraveling in real time. And so I think she's been incredibly effective. So I hope she stays in personally.
Brian Kilmeade, Fox and Friends co-host and host of the Brian Kilmeade radio show and One Nation. Brian, I've actually heard exactly what Gavin Newsom was saying come out of your mouth.
Who are you?
Yes, he copies me all the time. Except for I would have not raised taxes like that, and I would not have had dinner at the French Laundry during the pandemic. Besides that, we're very similar. Harris, a couple of things. Nikki Haley, I think, is a fine candidate, and I think she's staying in for a couple of reasons. She's staying in, number one, she wants to say, I told you so, if Trump loses. And she believes that the world of Trump and the MAGA movement, as Joe Biden's labeled it, will end if Donald Trump loses. She thinks it's going to go the way of the Tea Party. That's, I think, her hunch. That's the only thing I could think of. Because Ron DeSantis basically said, look, I agree with everything Donald Trump's doing. I'll do it better, more efficiently, without the controversy. When it seemed as though the party wasn't going to get over Trump and they wanted to make him number one, DeSantis says, okay, I'm out. When Governor Haley was doing the same thing, he's a friend of mine. I like working for him. This is my time. That was his time. That was interesting. But now she is going down. It sounds like she might as well be Bernie Sanders or Joe Biden. She's saying he's not going to beat Joe Biden, saying that he's lost it, not the same guy off the teleprompter, is too old. Really? And then chaos just follows it. These are Democratic arguments. So it's like she's in the Chris Christie, Liz Cheney lane, and I just think it's a huge risk for her.
Well, what Gavin Newsom said that I've heard you say is that it's helping the Democrats at this point. I mean, he basically made the point that she's defining Donald Trump in a way that they can use it. 59%, by the way, and this is just in South Carolina reportedly, of the people who voted for her say that they would never vote for Donald Trump. So that part about whether or not Donald Trump is at all paying attention or needs to pay attention to Nikki Haley right now, I guess you could argue over that. But if people would only vote for her, how many people are we talking about? And should he be worried about that?
I think it's a couple of things. If you ask fighters before a fight, they're never going to be friends with that other guy, right? But at the end, 99% of the time, they end up hugging it out. Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton was as bitter as I can remember. John McCain against George Bush, as bitter as I can remember. At the end of it, it said, well, how can I help? Now, this might take longer, but if you ask, I vote for Nikki Haley, I'm going up to the booth, I come out of the booth, and there's somebody with a clipboard who says, would you ever vote for Donald Trump if Nikki Haley loses? No. But to me, you can absolutely see the momentum changing come fall when Joe Biden and Donald Trump contrast each other. Let them know what the different directions of the country, especially when it comes on the border. I'm pretty sure that a lot of those Haley supporters are some of the people that put her in the office twice. You don't really have resentment, maybe take ownership of her because that's when she came of age as a candidate. But she's really not helpful with those type of comments on Trump.
We're about to see how different they are at the border because both presidents will be at the border on Thursday, 45 and 46. And I opened this hour by saying, how does it feel to follow Donald Trump? I mean, that announcement about Joe Biden was made just a few minutes before we went to air. It's going to be an interesting situation to watch them. One man saying what I did worked, the other man saying what I did didn't work, but I'm going to try to fix it by executive order before I have to tell the nation what the status of it is, the State of the Union. Go ahead.
Well, my feeling on this is, too, I don't need Donald Trump's speech and Joe Biden's speech. I was in America at the time. I know what was working. And when things weren't working for Donald Trump, he didn't acknowledge it, and he fired people. And then he sit there and said, I want you to go to those other countries where they're coming from, and I want you to take their aid away. And I want you to tell them there's going to be incentives if you can crack down on your country. And I'm going to go tell Mexico, even though you're a socialist, I bet you can do business with you. You're going to stay in Mexico. And that's what's going to happen. In return, I'm not going to put tariffs on you. So I know this. I don't need a 30-second ad. I know it works. And when Joe Biden puts in the executive orders he's rumored to do, he will defy his own words that said that nothing I can do to control this has to be done through Congress. So you have a bunch of bad options, Mr. President, and you're coming to the border 2 times in 3 years is not great.
Let's add this to the mix. Critics also railing against sportscaster Bob Costas, who said this about former President Trump and his supporters on CNN this weekend. Let's watch.
He is by far the most disgraceful figure in modern presidential history. He's only become more disgraceful since 2016 and since 2020. He is a bubbling cauldron of loathsome traits. You have to be in the throes of some sort of toxic delusion in a toxic cult to believe that Donald Trump has ever been, in any sense, emotionally, psychologically, intellectually, or ethically fit to be president.
Brian, I know Bob Costas. I know how bright he is. Best sport. By the time he was 34, he was the best sportscaster in the country, doing all the biggest events ever. I know that's exactly how he feels. But I think it's so shallow of him to think that you can have your feelings and put down 74 million people along the way. And people who are supported, especially him coming from a place where people support their teams and their players and their boxers and their athletes, and people are loyal. There are people loyal to him for reasons they should be respected for and analyzed. Because
Everybody should be respected.
Right.
Like, I mean, Democrats want their voters to be respected. Can you imagine if a Republican candidate called them all deplorable? I mean, come on. This has been going on for years. I want to get to this because I know you have some thoughts on it. So Republicans on former President Trump's VP shortlist making their cases to voters over the weekend. Let's watch.
The Republican primary is over, and Donald Trump is our nominee.
I was one of the first people to endorse Donald J. Trump. I'm proud to be the first member of Congress to endorse President Trump.
Any super PAC or C4 or whatever entity that supported me during that campaign, I'm publicly calling on them to use their resources to support Donald J. Trump.
And the reason why they're so afraid of him because he poses a threat to this establishment.
We gotta have leadership that's gonna say tough things when we need to hear them, and we have that leadership this November in Donald J. Trump.
Republicans and CPAC were asked for their top pick for vice president. The straw poll found that South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem and Vivek Ramaswamy tied for first place, followed by Tulsi Gabbard, House Republican Chair Elise Stefanik, and South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. Brian.
Those people way to the right are not going to help the president. He's already got them. He needs people that are somewhat open to understand that that vice presidential slot is probably the leading candidate to be the next president because he's 4 now. Got it. So my feeling is it's Elise Stefanik. And the second one would be Tim Scott, just judging by the thing that President Trump has been saying about Tim Scott. And Tim Scott's one of the most respected people I know. Anyone that knows him just has great respect for him. He still gets high marks in South Carolina, around the country, even across the aisle. But if I said right now, I believe Elise Stefanik would deliver it. Also, the president in the back of his head still thinks he's got a shot in New York. And she can help galvanize upstate New York and overcome maybe some resistance that hurt Lee Zeldin in the city. Now he's got the New York Jewish vote that more open to a Republican candidate after what we're seeing going on right now. So I think this could really go her way. I've never seen more candidates say, I want it. No one's playing coy, Harris. No one's saying,
Look, I love the fact that people want to leave this country because it's a mess. And if they're Americans who love America that much, let's see all of them. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what's great about America. We always have a future. God bless us all. Brian, I have to let you go. Your producers are going to leave me Mastigram. So
no, it's
you
okay.
got a commercial that's about to
Thanks
run
so
out.
much, Harris Clark.
Great to see you. Thank you. So many concerns about President Biden's aid for California's Democrat governor is trying to flip the script.
As a Democrat, what did it get for me to make the case for the leader of our party, Joe Biden?
He also says Biden should take on former President Trump in a debate and win like he did back in 2020. Could he do that? Could he win? Our reflection in Focus.
Go on.
One pharmacist recommended vitamin supplement.
GLP-1 has done my cravings for one pass. The sweets that I love and now that I don't need it. Being able to diet, being able to feed the kids and not feel needed is amazing.
It started at
And Brian Garrett, today we're talking about the biggest misconception there is about replacement loss. I'm here with Ted Coon, the project manager for Renewal by Design.
Yeah, one of the big things you're going to homeowners is I shouldn't need to replace my windows. They're just not that old. Here's the thing. Homeowners put in high-end kitchens, bathrooms, and low-end windows just aren't that good. So even if your windows are only 7 to 10 years old, they may still need to be replaced.
So there's so many window companies out there. What's different about your company?
Well, besides being a full-service replacement window division and we're a company people tend to call when they're particular about their home. They don't want just any old window, any old installment.
So your standards for installers are pretty high, right?
Yeah, Brian, you can have the best window or door in the world. If it's not installed correctly, it's going to fail. So we don't hire these jack-of-all trades installers with the gutters and side by side. Our window installation teams do our windows year in, year out, and done thousands of them.
Anytime a homeowner has to deal with multiple home improvement companies, they get stuck in the blame game.
Yeah, with other companies, there's issues. The manufacturer blames the installer blames the manufacturer. With us, there's no finger pointing or blaming each other. We're both the installer and the manufacturer.
Good. Is it easy for a homeowner to get a price?
Very easy. We'll come out to your house, we'll set your current patio door windows, and then we'll give you an exact price that's good for an entire year.
Ted, that's great information. Thank you.
This month only. Save 20% on windows, save 20% on patio doors, and save 20% on entry doors. Plus, take $150 off your entire purchase with zero money down, zero monthly payments, and zero interest for 1 year. This offer ends February 29th. For a free appointment with Renewal by Interest, call 1-800-704-4200. That's 1-800-704-4200.
Hello, I'm Dennis Quaid. For years, Tunnel to Towers has demonstrated a commitment to first responders and military families. They've paid off mortgages and built specially adapted smart homes. Now the foundation is expanding its mission to eradicate veteran homelessness. Something's been important to me. Our veterans, I think we need to support the veterans. They go out and our first responders. I did Frequency, which really brought it home to me. I did Frequency, it's a movie where I played a firefighter in New York City. That was 1998, a couple of years later. Well, a lot of the guys that I worked with, they didn't make it that morning. Those are the guys that are running in when everybody else is running out. And how they do that, what they do, and they do it for us. Our veterans the same way. Go and they serve and sacrifice, their families sacrifice. It's our an honor to support them. There's a new thing, T2T, which is veteran homelessness. I think that is one of the issues and problems that has been ignored over these years because we have so much homelessness. A lot of veterans who serve overseas, they lose their way when they get out of the service. They've lost touch with family, with friends. They're not getting the help that they need psychologically or physically. There's hope for them. I think T2T is the perfect organization to fulfill that. Please give our veterans a chance to reclaim their dignity by donating at T2T.org.
Breaking news now. Moments ago, students were evacuated from a high school in Oxford, Michigan. The sheriff's department said a bomb threat was emailed to the school. We are told that at this point they believe it may not be credible, but until they are certain, they have added significant police presence. Law enforcement checked the area with canine units and did not find any physical evidence of anything. We will bring you news when it happens.
I revere his record. I mean, what he's done in 3 years has been a masterclass, all because of Biden's wisdom because of his temperance, his capacity to lead in a bipartisan manner, which is an underrepresented point. So the answer is absolutely all in terms of the next 4 years for Joe Biden. It's because of his age that he's been so successful. So the opportunity to express that for 4 more years, what a gift it is for the American people.
I'm not a
Wow,
man
what a
of
gift
many,
he
I
is
am
to Joe
not a
Biden.
man of
California
many
Governor
problems.
Gavin Newsom defending the president on a whole lot of issues and then some. And then he said, here's some advice.
Trump says he's ready to debate Biden right now. Should President Biden debate?
Of course he's not making
But should President Biden debate Trump in the general?
Trump in the prior debates. I look forward to this. Is by the way, it's just pure 100%.
So hard just to get a basic answer. Recent polls show an overwhelming number of voters are worried about the president's mental fitness for a second term. And that includes 71% of Democrats. And when it comes to debates, the Wall Street Journal editorial board with this take. Trump forfeits the debate stage by refusing to take on Nikki Haley. He is giving Biden an easy out. Ari Fleischer, Fox News contributor, former White House press secretary. Ari, what are your thoughts on the two of them on a debate stage?
Well, first of all, listen to Gavin Newsom makes me think that he's auditioning for Corinne Jean-Pierre's job.
Oh, I think he wants something more than
Joe
that.
Biden is doing. Yeah, my goodness.
I think Epoch probably has that.
Age. His age makes him even more qualified. An 82 to 86-year-old. Yeah, that's a great qualification for the president of the United States. Look, I mean, it's one thing to salute the flag. It's another when the flag is barely flying for you to say that it's a beautiful flag. And that's the case with Joe Biden. I understand the Democrats need to support him, but everybody is being realistic other than Gavin Newsom. Joe Biden is a weak, morbid, old candidate who really is a threat to America because of his memory loss. That's the biggest problem. He can't even remember the briefings he's had about Hamas, about withdrawal from Afghanistan, its impact in policy. Gavin Newsom's in denial. He's been in denial about everything politically in California. He's in denial about national politics.
Well, he was in denial during the COVID lockdowns in his state that maybe he shouldn't go to a 2-star Michelin restaurant while everybody else couldn't leave their houses. I mean, he does what he wants. So the question is, what does he want? I doubt it's press secretary, although he proved that it's an important job and can be done masterfully. President Biden, again, though, to your point, is now sparking some fresh concerns about his acuity. And he butchered a quote from Abraham Lincoln. Watch.
He said, and I want to make sure I get the quote exactly. He said, the better angels, he said, we must address counsel of address the better angels of our nature. And we do well to remember Moses and we're not having good friends. It's the Middle East in the point of the Civil War.
After that speech, he had to rely on his handler to tell him what to do next.
Okay. Right here.
Yes, Mr. President, you have found yourself. You're right there. I know.
You know, Harris, what's so sad about watching this is he's done this many times before successfully. He just doesn't remember how to organize the toast anymore, to lead the toast to the National Governors Association. It's not his first time doing it, but he doesn't remember. This is what happens to you when you get older. It's not the senility, it's not the occasional verbal fumbles where he doesn't remember somebody's name. It's his increasing lack of memory. And the reason I stress that is because when you're the president, nothing is more important than your ability to recollect the various briefings you've heard from your team. When your team advises you, Mr. President, this is a matter of life and death, and you need to do A. No, Mr. President, you need to do B. No, Mr. President, I think you need to do C. A president has to digest divergent briefings from smart people with different points of view and make a decision. If he can't remember what he's being told, How can he make good decisions?
You know,
That's the problem with old age, and that's the problem with his presidency.
so 81 right now is a candidate, 82 to 86, as you pointed out, across his 4 years, should he win a second term. Those numbers don't necessarily mean you go down that road of losing everything acuity-wise. So I put less emphasis on the number, and I do exactly what the President of the United States told us to do, Ari. I watch what he does and what he communicates. And as he's showing us how he's handling things at home that are emergencies, it takes him 3 years to actually know. We're hoping he's going to get to see the border. Because last time it was so forensically clean for him in El Paso, you couldn't find anybody who could over the border.
An expert at using the shard.
Yeah, no, that'll be a big event. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does on that front. And this is a great opportunity for Donald Trump. But you know, the other opportunity for Donald Trump is Joe Biden loves to use the line his father told her so many times, don't compare me to the Almighty, compare me to the alternative. Well, that can now be Donald Trump's line. Don't compare me to the Almighty, compare me to the alternative. And the alternative is soon to be 82-year-old Joe Biden. And this is why Joe Biden can lose. This is why Donald Trump can win. This is why Nikki Haley could win. Joe Biden is the weakest Democratic candidate that Democrats could possibly put up. And I don't know why Gavin Newsom is saying what he's saying other than for feigned loyalty. But everybody can see that weakness in Joe Biden. And the video clips you play, they're only going to get worse between now and November.
The debate. I asked Brian Kilmeade this question. What could that look like? What would you want to see it look like? Could it be done in front of a live audience?
The gods have long left this world.
There's not going to be a debate. Joe Biden's team will put him out to answer questions. Why would he go out there and engage in an actual, real spontaneous debate with Donald Trump in the early evening, in the nighttime? He can't do it. He's not capable of doing it. So there is not going to be a debate. We saw that last cycle too, when many gubernatorial Senate candidates started to not debate their opponents. It's a step backward for democracy because these debates are some of the healthiest parts of deciding who we're going to vote for. We deserve to see our president and our nominees in action, but we especially deserve to see the president in action since we're starved of seeing him throughout the year because the White House staff shields him. A debate is even more important, but I have no illusions that the Democrats will put Joe Biden on a stage.
Well, I threw in that live audience part because we see him in front of live groups of people every day, and it is a simple struggle. I mean, it's just baseline struggle for him. Great to see you, and always, always remember the job you did when you were in the White House. Again, Gavin Newsom couldn't touch him. Thank
Follow
you.
your feet.
Thank you, Harris.
Well, bombshells just keep coming. In the case of Fulton County District Attorney Connie Willis and her prosecutor paramour, data seems to directly contradict the testimony of Willis and her prosecutor paramour when it comes to the time they've spent together. Yeah, you know, cell phone records have a sneaky way of showing if you were talking to each other. It's basic math. President Biden facing a big test in tomorrow's Michigan primary. Big concerns about his standing in key swing states in general as we move toward November.
Biden's stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's really become the pro-Iran party. Everyone is realizing exactly where Joe Biden is on this issue. But it's interesting to watch him being divided.
The fuck is the other one?
I don't know what he can do to save the situation.
Yes.
If you struggle with CPAP, you should check out Inspire. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Learn more and view important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
Hey there, no need to adjust your TV, or more likely your phone. You're watching a recycled commercial. See, at mid-moment, we're always looking for innovative ways to save our money so we can save you money. So instead of paying for a new
Okay.
we're reusing this phone. And that means we can afford to keep offering you premium wireless for just $15. We only made one change. Probably isn't even nice.
I love Simplify by Union. It shows me how much I'm spending and creates a personalized spending plan. I always
always know how much I can spend and save. How much more could you save? Take the simplified challenge and find out. Named the best budgeting app by the New York Times Wirecutter.
Start today.
It ain't my dad's razor, Dad. Hey, watch. It's from Gillette Labs. This rebar laces trapped hairs from my face. Game changer. Well, it flex this contours to it. So the 5 blades can get virtually every hair in one stroke. For the ultimate Gillette shaving experience. The best a man can get is Gillette Labs. Can Neriva support your brain health?
Hey, Janet, hey.
Eddie, no. Fraser. Frank. Frank? Brad, how are you? Brad.
View up to 7 brain health indicators, including your memory. Join the Neriva Brain Health Challenge. America's Most Wanted is back. Miss new episodes on Fox? Watch them a week later on Fox Nation. Plus, America's Most Wanted Extra, featuring exclusive content with John and Callahan Walsh you won't see anywhere else.
I know what these victims are going through.
Join father and son for a deep dive into the details with critical insight about every case.
Let's kick some butt together. Go Fox Nation.
America's Most Wanted and America's Most Wanted Extra, together exclusively on Fox Nation. Streaming now. Our first ever coaching duo! We're Dan and Shay. We got two for the price of one.
My first thought was block thing.
Buckle up, Rico. The voice. Check your listings.
Here's why you should switch from Google to DuckDuckGo on all your devices. DuckDuckGo comes with a built-in search engine like Google, but it's private and doesn't spy on your searches. And DuckDuckGo lets you browse like Chrome, but it blocks cookies and creepy ads that follow you around from Google and other companies. And there's no catch. It's free. We make money from ads, but they don't follow you around. Join the millions of people taking back their privacy by downloading DuckDuckGo on all your devices today.
Tonight, the White House has a massive problem with Joe Biden. Sean's all-star lineup sounds off on the president's disastrous policies on the next Hannity.
Need to find your help. You still owe a balance on this semester. I can give you 2 weeks.
What's that about?
The wrong one. Don't get a job, cheap place to live.
Based on incredible true story.
They said there was a job included. Here's a question I think coaches never get.
From director George Clooney.
9 seconds under the course record. Olympic year this year.
Olympic year. I didn't realize.
The team of underdogs. Where's that boat? Sorry, guy. We're laying down coach. We'll make history.
Show them what I already know.
Boys in the boat. PG-13.
If alcohol builds a wall around you,
Okay, guys. Take it from here. Peace out. We'll see you next time, alright?
isolated,
Excellent.